Hello and thank you for joining me. My name is Heather Forgan. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Scotland. My website is stampwithnellie.com. And today I'm going to show you how I made this kind of abstract watercolour card using the Basket of Blooms stamp set. I have a card base made with very vanilla card, and then I've got a layer of terracotta tile, and I have used some fluid 100 watercolour paper for the main part. Now I've not trimmed this down yet. I will do that once I've actually done the image on it. I have also used the vase from the Basket of Blooms, and I stamped that onto terracotta tile card and just fussy cut that out. So we'll go on and do the main part of this. Leave that one there for the moment. And what I've used is some of the watercolour pencils. I've got Daffodil Delight, Cajun Craze and Crushed Curry. And I will freely admit that I don't know which pack of the watercolour pencils each one comes from. I think I've probably used ones from both sets. So I will link all of the products that I've used and all of my dimensions in my blog, and there'll be a link to that blog post in the description bar below. So all I've kind of done, I'll start off with the crushed curry, and I know that I kind of want a blob of colour there. And I will come in with my water painter and basically just add a bit of water to that and smudge it about, just so that it's fairly random. I'll clean off that colour, and I will bring in some Cajun Craze. That's the one. Just add some around about there. Bring in, might need a little bit more water on that. Yeah. And just spread it around. Totally abstract, no rhyme nor reason. I just thought this was quite an unusual way to do some watercolouring. And then I've got some Daffodil Delight blob there and there. Sure, I've got water. Probably a little bit too much. Ooh, isn't that lovely and bright? Obviously, the more water you add, the more it dilutes that colour, and I'm quite happy to overlap some of the colours as well. Okay, totally abstract. This will need to dry before we can stamp over it. So in the meantime, I will just do the stamping for the vase. And I'm just using Early Espresso ink. You could use a black ink. And stamp that onto a scrap. There we are. and that just needs to be fussy cut out. I am going to use a sentiment from Itty Bitty Greetings, and it's Sent with Love. I'm going to stamp that onto a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock with terracotta tile ink. There we are. Now bring in my classic label punch to cut that one out. Just want to centre that. Try and get it straight. That'll do. Okay, done with that. And just punch out another one from another piece of scrap. Okay. Just chop that one in half. Bring in my glue. Add some glue to one end. And just line up the edges. Then add glue to the other end. And just try and get the same distance showing at both ends. And I will add that to my card with some foam adhesive strip. This is one of the products that I keep forgetting about, and I have them in my adhesive drawer, and then I'll remember them and start using them again. Use them for ages and then put them away and forget about them again for some strange reason. I think it's because my dimensionals are always at the side of my desk and I just automatically grab for them. Okay, now I think that looks dry. You could speed up the process by using a heat tool if you wanted to do that instead. So I am just using one of the floral stamps from Basket of Blooms, again with terracotta tile just over those watercolour blobs. Okay. And the reason that I didn't trim this down to fit was in case I went from one side, too far to one side rather than the other. So now that I've stamped that, I will just bring in my trimmer and I will take a bit off that side. So I want this piece to be 8.5, I think. Let me just double check that. Measure twice. No, I just want it to be 8. 8 by 12. That wouldn't have been a disaster not taking enough off. By 12. There we are. And that will now map nicely onto the piece of terracotta tile that I've already cut. Okay. Next step is to fussy cut this. I'll do that off camera because watching me with my arthritic fingers, fussy cutting might be painful for you. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so that's me just fussy cut that. As I say, it's not one of my greatest skills, which is why I love it when sets come with dies and punches to coordinate. So actually stamped that one a little bit low, that's fine, no problem. I'm going to just draw in the stems, but I need to kind of figure out where I want them to end up. So I'm just, if they end up there and don't go beyond the end of that flower there, that petal there, or that one there, will be fine. Okay, so I will just add one in there just for completeness. I used the thicker end of my Stampin' Right marker for that one, but wasn't entirely happy with it. There we go. Not a masterpiece, it doesn't have to be. And then I will glue that onto there to cover that. Okay, now I want to add in a little bow made with linen thread. Watching me tie a bow might be almost as painful as watching me fussy cup. There we go. Not too bad. Okay, now I'm going to add this with a mini glue dot. Now, mini glue dots are mini, but they are obviously much bigger than the knot in my thread. So I'm basically just rolling that dot up. Let's try that again. Yeah. And then I can add that onto my bow. Honestly, what a mess. Maybe what I'll do is add the glue dot on there. And then add the knot of my bow on top. Yeah, that was easier. I never normally have problem unless I'm on camera. Now with the last one I left the tails quite long and I frayed the bottoms, but this time I'm just going to chop them a little bit shorter. And then I can add these layers together. Okay, something went wrong there. Bear with me, I need to cut another piece that is the right length. Back in a moment. Okay, so that piece should have been 9 by 13 centimeters, and no idea what I did. I got the width right, but not the length. There we are. And then that can go on top of our card base. And it leaves a nice big margin around the edge. the sentiment we prepared earlier. Just take the backing off of that and put that in the centre like that. And there we have it. Two cute little flower cards with some abstract watercolouring using Basket of Blooms. I hope you've enjoyed this project. I would love it if you give me a thumbs up, a comment. If you've not already subscribed, please do, and click on that bell so you get notified of my next YouTube tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.